JD here with Rusty Rider, and today we bonded this dent, and now we're going to sand it, I think.
Yes, we're going to sand it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good intro, buddy. Boom!
That causes my...
All right.
Hey guys, JD here with Rusty Rider.
Yep, y'all, we are sitting here going to edit a video. JD wanted to give me a hand, so, well, here we are.
Yep. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we upload another video.
That's right, y'all.
In the dark world pages.
Alright, y'all, what you're going to see here is some pictures of the dent after I had used the crowbar to pull it out. There's a video where we were using the paint remover that actually shows how bad the dent was. This dent here that you're going to see now, that you're looking at now, is what we started with before we started with the Bondo.
JD here.
And I'm actually
There's plenty of videos
pleased with the way this
that will
whole
show
thing
you
turned
how to
out.
mix Bondo.
All right, y'all, let's get on with it.
Bye.
How to spread it. Probably even how to sand it. We're going to knock some of the roughness off of this thing with a little 220. Kind of well used. And try to get this into a shape so I can hand sand it.
Sanding, 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 more sanding, still sanding. Yep, sanding.
That's needs to dry a little bit more. Yeah. It's been drying for a while. I tell you what, I will knock its mess out from under the bottom.
Sanding, 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 more sanding, still sanding. Yep, sanding.
Alrighty. There's got a good shape to it. Not going to be seen. A little primer under there. We paint. Make sure we get a little overlapping coverage. Should be good. Alright, come here, JD. I want you to do me a favor. Do me a favor. Take your hand
After all
and
that,
rub.
guess what?
What?
Ain't the same on that model car.
It's
You-
so soft.
It does, but you feel the rough spots in it? If you feel real careful, use your fingertips. You feel how there's spots that are low and other spots that are high?
Finger bleed out a nail finger.
No, that's actually body filler. But if you feel this, JD, you'll feel spots that are high and like right here, spots that are low. And what you want is when you feel the dent is you want this whole thing to follow the body line around. You want this whole thing to slope like it's supposed to slope. And the best thing you can do, you can look at it and you can see, but honestly, the best way to find spots is to just feel. Like right here, that's low. You can see it's low. But there'll be spots like right here. It feels a little high compared to over here. And you just got to follow your body line and get it all smoothed out once this finish is completely drying. Okay?
Okay.
There's your pro tip for the day.
And cut.
Yep, stop it then.
Sanding, 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 more sanding, still sanding. Yep, sanding. Sanding, 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 more sanding, still sanding. Yep, sanding.
Okay, y'all. What I've done here is I've hit this thing and gotten it what I'm thinking right here it's still a little low, but you can see that actually in the, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but there's a void right there, and a little bit of one right up here. Worked some Bondo in this stuff. You can see the lighter Bondo here. That's the Bondo we put in there 3-4 days ago and let it sit, and we had sanded down trying to get our body line right. Then I'd went over it with some spot putty that I had. You see a couple of places where you can see the darker stuff. That's your spot putty. I'm gonna need the spot putty here, 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 and maybe a touch right there. Just trying to get this stuff where it doesn't have a hard break coming off the metal to the Bondo. That's where you really gotta, when you're Bondoing, the dent was about here, a little here, a little up here. I was able to get behind it, and actually I used a crowbar, got between the wheel well and the body panel here. I was able to push most of it out. I had a couple of high spots, but I was able to tap them down, tap them back down. But the thing about it is, when you're using Bondo, if you've got a spot, say like this big, you're going to wind up with it pulled out further, so you can get it to where it feathers, so you don't have a hard break. At least that's what works for me. There's probably buddy guys that are sitting there going, this guy's completely wrong. And if they are, I defer to their better judgment. But yeah, y'all, so starting to lose daylight, starting to lose the heat out of the day. Probably gonna let this right here ride till in the morning. I still say that right there is a little low. Right there's a little low. Right there just needs to be covered. Rest of this still feels something right here. And that's just what it is. It's just it's time intensive. And if my fingers weren't already covered in the dust, touching the stuff, touch is your best way. But when you're done, you're going to want to bathe everything that you've touched with bare skin, like where I've reached up here. All I've done is put sweat and oil onto this metal, which is what you don't want to do. And not doing, saying you're not going to do it, and then not doing it is, I'm saying you're not going to do it's very simple. Then you turn around and, well, you've done it. Yeah. Y'all, I am no body guy. Not by no stretch of the imagination. But I'm actually kind of pleased with how this right here is turning out. A little bit more work in the morning. And hopefully, this will be good. Now, just a little bit more work.
Sanding, 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 more sanding, still sanding. Yep, sanding. Sanding, 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 more sanding, still sanding.
That getting to be a bit much on there, Evan?
That's a strong.
Ah, man up. It ain't that much.
Question.
Yeah.
If I tighten those screws down the back of that airbag,
Yeah.
it ain't gonna go poof, is it?
No.
Because that may be part of the reason.
Could be.
Because I was looking over on the vert car,
Mm-hmm.
and those things have to go back about that far till they hit the dead gum contact with the horn.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if when we push that thing in, it ain't going all the way back to that contact.
Yeah, just try tightening it up.
Well, I did a horn relay.
Do what?
I did a horn relay.
That's true.
But my other one,
I gotta work this right here out. Yeah, it's slightly coming to depart. All right. Let me hit this another lick here.
Sanding, 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 sanding. More sanding. Still sanding. Yep, sanding. Sanding, 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 sanding. More sanding. Still sanding. Yep, sanding. Sanding, 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 sanding. More sanding. Still.
Hey, y'all. Back again. Good enough. A little bit of our spot and glazing putty. Using this stuff, a little dab, yabba dabba do, will do ya. See if there's enough right there. Not quite. Try to judge how much you're going to need to do this, to fill in your low spots, any little gouges, or anything that you've got in your body filler. Don't be afraid to feel. Feel around. If you feel a low spot, you feel a little imperfection, take care of it. Like that. There. That was a little pinhole. You prep. You prep work, your body work underneath. Y'all, I know I've sprayed painted cars with cans and crap out here. I'll tell you, your prep work, your sanding, all the stuff that you do before you lay your first coat of primer on a car is crucial. You want it to be as blemish free as humanly possible. Like I said, I'm no body man, but I do know that. I'll have to see if we've got any pictures of this dent. I know we got video of when I was using the paint stripper on this car, of it, how deep the dent was. The dent in the side of the thing was about 1.5 inches deep with a circle right about here. The fella Evan got this car from, well, backed into a parked 18-wheeler that was bobtailing. And on some of the mud flaps, those things, you know, they got the big round pipe that holds the mud flap on the back of the tractor. And it was right there. I am proud of once the plastic goes back in here, this thing is going to sit about like that, about right where it needs to, because it was sitting out here like this. Okay, fall. Let this stuff right here dry. Hit it with a sander. And y'all, I'm going to hope this is good. We are running out of daylight. This thing's going to look like I recorded it on a 1942 potato. But y'all get the idea. I'll try to either get some more light out here when this dries, or I'll take care of it in the morning. Well, we'll be back when we made up our mind whether we're doing it when it dries or in the morning. All right, y'all. This stuff right here has had enough time to sit. I'm gonna hit it with the DA real quick. Knock off the roughest part, so then I can give it a good hand sanding. So, yeah, let's knock this out.
Sanding, 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 sanding. More sanding. Still sanding. Yep, sanding.
That's getting a lot better.
Sanding, 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 sanding. More sanding. Still sanding. Yep, sanding. Sanding, 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 sanding. More sanding. Still sanding. Yep, sanding.
Still think I got a low spot right here. Still think it's a bit low right there. Still need to carry it up over that, I think. But for right now, y'all, I'm gonna call that good. We'll just see. Well, now it's time to go get the garage cleaned out. Clean it out, so yeah. So we can get this thing in there and put some primer on it. Just another day here at the Rusty Rotor.
Hey, y'all, thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. Hit the all so you're notified of any time I upload another video. Thank you for watching.